Hello, and welcome to episode 4 of For the Love of Tinsel, season 2. Now, this episode is called It's Never Too Late for Love, and you're going to learn why. And we are your safe and cozy place to lean into your love of romantic Christmas movies.
We
So,
are.
I'm Angela,
And I'm Isha.
and welcome to our latest episode.
Welcome,
Now,
welcome.
yes.
So one of the things, Angela, that I wanted to bring up is that we are now going into the thick of things in terms of
Mm,
Christmas movies coming out. They're coming out as fast and furious, not all of them
yep.
brilliant, but there is going to be a lot, and we've got to weed through them. And one of the things
Mhm.
that is fun about this time of the season, and that it's just not Hallmark. Hallmark comes out mad early, like
Yeah.
October, right?
Mhm.
And that's the only player on the field. But
Yeah.
now there's a whole bunch more that are coming out. What are some of the non-Hallmark movies that you're excited to see?
Well, this is one that I saw a trailer for that I was like, "Oh yeah, uh-huh." And I knew nothing about it, even in like all of the various sort of articles that they wrote. And it's called Xmas, and it stars Robbie Amell, who is very attractive.
I agree with you. I mean,
Mhm.
he's really attractive,
Yeah, he
and
is.
I
He is.
really appreciate he's actually a different attractive than they do on Hallmark. Um, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. He was in I don't know if you ever saw The Duff.
Yeah,
He
I
was in
love the
the
Duff. I
he
love the
was
Duff.
in
But
The Duff.
that's
And
that's really taking people back, Aisha.
right, but right now, well, that was my first
Right.
entry to, like, I will look for you again because I
Mhm.
appreciate you on my screen. But
Mhm.
also he's actually currently in a show called Upload, that's in Prime Video. They just finished season 2, and I actually really, really, really enjoy that show. I highly recommend it. But so I'm really excited to have Robbie Amell and Leighton Meester in a show. I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and they Leighton Meester is just a lot of fun, and I feel excited about them as a pair because I look at them and I think makes
Mhm.
sense to me.
Mhm,
They
mhm.
yeah,
That's a lot.
mhm,
That's a lot of pretty in
yeah,
one place, and I'm here with the
hmm
holidays. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
and free TV, kind of a player that. So, oh, just fun fact. So, I think free TV is an arm of Amazon, is what I under, or maybe Amazon's buying everybody up quietly. So, I think the free TV is now like an arm of Amazon or something.
Right, they call
But
it freebie, right? Freebie
oh,
as
Freevee,
opposed to TV
Freevee. I
freebie,
don't.
yep.
Yeah. Oh, right. Sorry, literally saying free TV, but they want you to say Freevee, which is
They're calling it freebie now for all the
does
cool kids.
not roll off the tongue, but
It does
freebie
not.
it is. So I am excited to see that. Can't wait. That's definitely
I'm here for Xmas. Bring it
yeah,
on. Bring it
yeah.
on.
Okay, so my next one is one you're not gonna pick because Aisha's already seen it, but Wesley Christmas
What do you
Wedding.
Oh, okay,
Because
okay,
I
okay.
Yeah. We reviewed it or we talked about it last season. It stars Jasmine Guy, and a bunch of other like black celebs. It's on BET Plus, and I really liked the first. I thought the first one was fun, and I'm curious. It's one of those Christmas sequel movies that I'm like, what are we gonna do? What's gonna happen again?
I
So
know what
yeah,
happens.
I know. Aisha's a machine. As you know, every episode we discuss that Aisha's seen 107 of these movies,
It does
and
feel that way sometimes, yes.
she's whittling it down to have a conversation with little old me who sees like one or two. So,
No, I'm taking it for the team. I'm taking 20
uh,
for the team so I can be like, here's one you will like.
yeah, no, I'm grateful. So I want to see that, and then my final movie is Ladies of the 80s Christmas, which
Yes.
is on Lifetime and stars like a bunch of 80s icons: Nicolette Sheridan, Linda Gray, Laurie
Mhm.
Anderson. But something that Aisha and I did discuss via text about this movie is
Uh-oh. I know what she's gonna say.
the lack of diversity. If you're gonna call yourself
Yeah.
Ladies of the 80s Christmas, and then you're not gonna have a single woman of color, in it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, R.I.P. Diane Carroll, because that movie has her name written all over it,
And she would
and
have owned it. She would have owned
yeah,
it. Yes.
yeah. But just because like Diane Carroll is no longer with us, they could have found someone,
There's more
and
than
not
one. There's more than
I
one.
know. It's like, and not only is it like all white, it's like everything is really bright on the frame. Everyone's wearing white. It's lit within an inch of it's really bright, you know? Um, that said, I'm still gonna watch it
I'm
just
still gonna watch it,
because.
and I want them to prove me wrong, actually. I want them to
Mhm,
prove me wrong, which is actually something that I'm gonna bring up later about being proven wrong, by the way, 'cause,
mhm. Yeah.
if anyone's listened to, one of our older episodes about watching a trailer, we watched a trailer about, a series that was on what channel was that on? It was the one about in the mall,
Roku.
and, it was on Roku. I
Mhm.
watched the episodes, by the way, all of them.
Oh, oh my
All
god.
5.
Okay. All right. Okay. Oh
Do
my
not
god.
judge me. Do
When
not
do
judge
you
me.
have the time? Aisha
Okay, I have
has.
a lot to do around the house, so I'm a multitasker, I'm female, that's what we do. But,
Oh my
what I
god.
can say is that that you please go watch our trailer review. I was a doubting Thomas, but the fact of the matter is that it has a upside, and it was a half hour, by the way. Each episode was a half hour,
Told you.
just
I
like you
told
said.
you. I was like, "Come on, girl."
But
Half an hour.
it was definitely worth watching. So, we'll
Mhm,
definitely put in our,
mhm,
what movies we're talking about so everyone can
mhm,
go and see. But that's just to say, be open. The trailers don't always do things justice. I'd
mhm,
love to talk to the person who cut that trailer so I could help them out a little bit
mhm,
because,
mhm,
so that's in general for all of our episodes. When you hear these
mhm,
things and you see these trailers, be open. Sometimes you are pleasantly surprised for sure.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I like that one. That was so was that
mhm.
your third?
Yeah, that was my 3rd. Yeah, yeah.
Got it, got it, got it, got it. Okay, so I definitely had Xmas on. I'm so excited
Mhm.
about watching that, I can't even tell you.
I know.
Um,
I know.
I put on Dashing Through the Snow with Ludacris. That's
Mm.
gonna be on Disney Plus
Yes, girl. I'm very
because
excited about that.
I don't first of all, they're gonna have a budget. It's Disney Plus, right? And it
Mhm,
looks like it's gonna be a family affair, which is great, but
mhm.
it's ludicrous. What are we doing? And that
I don't know.
intrigues me. What are we doing? How
I
is
don't know.
right. So I'm just for the let's see what happens. I'm gonna see that. And the last one, which I know you want to see, is Genie with Melissa McCarthy on Peacock.
Yes.
Right? That's actually
Yes.
coming on
Yes.
this week. Melissa
Ah,
McCarthy is
yes.
funny as all heck. They clearly had
Love
a budget for
her.
this jammy, and it's holiday fun. It's gonna be great. If she's in it, it's gonna be great. So I'm really
Oh
excited
gosh,
about
I
that.
forgot about that. Ooh, I can download that for the plane. Okay, good.
There we go. There we go. So we can
Okay,
have a really
yeah.
good time, and maybe we can do an
Mhm,
episode where we talk about it because
mhm.
just really excited.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I'm really excited about that.
that's gonna be fun. All right, so our topic for today is we're gonna talk about just holiday movies and how they depict, love later in life. The title of this episode is "It's Never Too Late for Love," and
Mhm.
not that you do know anything about that, Angela Tucker, about finding love a little bit later. Just
Well, yeah, I
giving
mean, if you're
you
gonna get in
a
my
moment.
personal life,
I'm just
Aisha.
giving you a moment. Giving you a moment.
Well, a few things. One, I made a movie called New Orleans Noel, and in the
Sure did.
movie, there is a couple played by Patti LaBelle and Tim Reed who
Yes.
find love and I love movies with older couples finding love. It's like my
Me too.
favorite genre.
Me
I will
too.
say personally, to some, I found love late in my life, though. I mean, I don't think that my late 40s is like geriatric, but um, to some, I married later in life. So I think but I think these movies just like give so much hope. And I'll just never forget when I was filming New Orleans Noel, and there was like every scene that like Patti LaBelle and Tim Reed had, everybody was just like, oh my
Exactly. Seriously.
gosh.
Seriously.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's that's e that's exactly right. Like, I just and I have to be honest, like, I think that there's definitely be a change. I remember back in the day, it was always like they had to kill somebody off, and they were
Mhm.
talking about their love in retrospect, as
Mm,
opposed to falling in love, which they'll now depict now on screen like you did, and
mhm.
I appreciate the change. Like, they would always have the ones where they'd have an older person who talked about, "In the '20s, I had a great love." And it is touching, and I love that, but, you can also show people who are older who are falling in love, and I think, someone's got the memo, so and I love it when they get the memo because it's just so much fun to watch on screen, like in your movie, it was seeing
Mm.
Patti LaBelle and Tim Reed was magical,
Yeah, it's so good.
and they just know what they're doing.
They do, they do.
That's
They know
just
how
good
to
stuff.
yeah, they know. Yeah. Now, in terms of movies,
Yes.
we were gonna talk about, movies that also kind of other than mine, of course, and one thing, other than mine, one movie that I was kind of remembering that is directed by a future guest of ours, is a Christmas movie that came out a few years ago called Christmas in Louisiana, and it was
Mhm. Oh,
directed
yeah.
by Emily Moss Wilson, who is a writer director of Christmas movies, who will be on the show in a few weeks. And
Yay.
that movie starred Jenna Kramer, who is really in a lot of these movies. I mean, she has found her oeuvre because, as we've said in past episodes, she can have chemistry with like a chair.
Yep.
She knows how to have chemistry with
Seriously.
people. But in that movie, Moira Kelly, who I think plays her mom, maybe, or I forget who she was in the movie, but an older, kind of older, but not like super old, maybe in her like, 50s, 60s, which in these movies is, old. And Brian McNamara, they had their own. What I actually loved about Christmas in Louisiana, where there was three generations of love stories,
Yeah.
and everyone there was like the oldest couple that was that just were so cute and like had their own, just like they were settled in their love, and then there was sort of like the more middle-aged couple that was finding love, and then there was like the younger couple. And I liked how they handled the intergenerational love in that a lot, and I was very
Absolutely.
inspired by that movie when I was making my movie. And so yeah, I mean, I really liked it in that movie.
Yeah, and then we can talk to Emily about it, which is
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
gonna be
That's one of
so
many
exciting.
questions. Yeah, we're gonna talk to her about. Yeah.
That is
What
so
about
exciting.
you? What are some of your favorite older love movies?
Well, it's funny. So I actually liked in on BET Plus, the Wesley series that you brought
Mhm,
up, because
mhm,
in a Wesley Christmas and then the one that came out this year, which
mhm,
is a Wesley Christmas wedding,
mhm,
there's the young couple and whatever shenanigans they're getting into during but there's always the older married couple who are
mhm,
still going through their stuff and finding their way to support each other slash find their way back to each other. And
mhm,
I love that, right? I love
mhm.
there's
Yeah.
jealousy, there's all this other stuff that's going on and the misunderstandings with the older couple. That is fun. It's really fun. So I appreciated that. And something that's interesting, I'm not sure if you know this, but there is a movie coming out this season on Lifetime called Christmas at the Chalet, and guess who's
Mm.
starring in it but our lovely friend Teri Hatcher.
Oh, so she has another movie.
She has another movie, and here's the thing, everyone, we're gonna talk more about Teri Hatcher later, but she
Mhm.
has another one coming out.
Oh, I wanna see wait, isn't dude from Desperate Housewives the love interest in that one? Or who's the guy in that movie?
I'm trying to remember, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we
He's
have
not
to.
someone that I know.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Got you, got
I
you.
did look him up, though. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
we'll
not
look him
one
up.
that
I
I
just was
recognized.
curious. 'Cause they're really into, like, doing,
Yes.
like reunions, what it'll be
Yes.
like two people who like were in love on a TV show.
Yeah.
So I was curious if they like kind of dug out. Not that I would remember who her love interest was in Desperate Housewives, but maybe seeing him might recall. I mean, it's a long time ago, but
Well, maybe
yeah.
when you see them, you'll recognize him. I did not recognize him at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At
Oh
all, at
yeah.
all.
That's Oh, I'm
But
excited
I
to
have a
see
quick
that. I'm definitely gonna see that.
Me too. I'm curious as someone who has written a movie, that had one of these older couples falling in love. Why do you think that so many of them are in these Christmas movies? Like, what do you think and the change over time? Because I'd love to
Mm.
know, like, because you did mention that you were inspired also because you saw that in a movie, but why do you
Mm-hmm.
think it's
Yeah.
important to include older love in these movies?
Well, I remember when Elise and I gave the treatment to Lifetime, and and they saw that there was like a older couple, and they were saying that the audiences really like that, films that have sort of a storyline like that in it tend to do well. Um
Huh.
so that was actually, I mean, it was great because we got positive reinforcement. I mean, I'm always working on movies about older women, so that's kind of my constant genre that I'm exploring. Like, I'm always
Gotcha. Gotcha.
writing something with like an older woman as the protagonist, and so that's kind of my interest in it. But I mean, I do think it's the whole "it's never late for love" because people are watching it with family. So older women watch these,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's very aspirational. It's like, I think there's a moment too, though, kind of for like, The Golden Bachelor, for example, which is the jam,
Ye
is doing very well for ABC. And
It is.
it is, and so I just think that, like, this whole "it's never too late for love," and you can see it sort of in this wholesome way, so because sometimes I think younger people get a little, like, ew," about, like, people in their, like, 60s or 70s finding relationships, and so it's kind of like a very kind of wholesome way to see, like, love between, older people. Um, I don't know, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. I'm glad that it's happening more. I mean, what do you think what's appealing to it to you?
To be honest with you, I find the actors that they get, they're just better at it. Like,
Oh,
I
that's true.
find most of the time, they're
Yeah,
just
you're
better.
right about
Most of the
that.
time, like, you see them and it's easier for them to understand what the chemistry most of the
Mhm,
time, their chemistry is as strong, if not stronger, than the
mhm,
main couple. They can do the flirting thing, they can do it in a way that just is just better. I'm just sorry, it's
mhm.
just better. I mean, they're great to
Yeah.
have in these movies also because they're, you know, not necessarily a foil, but they're aspirational to the couple that's actually in the movie.
Mhm,
Um, and you also get just a perspective on where these couples wanna go, and, you love that. Sometimes you wanna see a couple that's kind of like you, and sometimes you wanna see, I want to, go down the line and end up there. And
mhm.
also, there's just hope. Like, there shouldn't be a point where you're like, "I'm 35 and I gave up," right? Because
Right,
it's
yeah.
not just it could be like you had a love and it didn't work out, but there's still more out there for you. There's another version, there's a next step, there's another chapter, and I think
Mhm,
all of them are about hope, and I think seeing love, new love, a
mhm.
resurgence of love just is part of that journey.
Yeah. No, I agree, I agree. And on the topic of finding true love later, you wanna talk about a movie?
Yeah, I'd love that. So, today we're going to give our review on How to Fall in Love by Christmas on the Roku channel.
Mhm,
And the movie stars Teri Hatcher and Dan Payne. And it goes along with our theme because, Teri Hatcher is older and single, and she runs this company that is now being run by younger people and she is been given this mandate, which I found
oh, I don't understand this
interesting.
mandate
I'm like,
at all.
I feel confident you can't do this in real life and not get
Yeah.
sued.
I
But
just was like, whatever, guys, whatever.
for the sake of the plot, they
Exactly.
tell her that she has to
Has
go
to.
on has to go on dates,
Mhm.
and write about it, for their magazine, and that if she
Mhm.
doesn't do this and do a really good job, um, and try to and find love or work on finding love over Christmas, that she could lose her job. And mind
It's
you, for a
just
magazine that she created.
that she
Um,
owns. She owns it,
uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
but they
I
have a
was just like,
board, and they
yeah.
they pointed out that the board has a majority share of her company. So they're
Mhm.
saying we can vote you out because there's a whole demographic that she's not reaching, and they said the younger demographic wants to see like you using technology and talking
Mhm.
about things that's important to them, which is, online dating and finding love. And therefore the board decided that she needed to interact with a an app that helps you
Mhm.
find love.
Uh-huh.
And
Yes.
so the romance ensues
But she never
when
uses the app, does she? Cuz she meets people
um
out in the world.
yeah,
So, cuz
yeah.
that was what
But okay,
confused
but
me.
so here's what the app was for. The app was to you were supposed to put yourself out there, right? So what the
Okay.
app did was it was showing you different ways to put yourself out there in order to meet
Mhm.
your person. And so
Mhm.
that's it
Mhm.
was getting her out of her comfort zone because she was very career focused
Mhm.
and not thinking about what she needed for her own love life. And so
Right.
they would
Yeah.
tell you, you need to go to these places you don't normally go. These are the kind of places people will meet. And then she's supposed to document it. And
Mhm.
so a photographer was hired to document her process. So she makes these videos so people know what she's doing and what she's up to and who she's meeting and how that's going. And then he's following her around, and he's also trying to take his career to the next level. This isn't the kind of thing that he would normally do, but the thought process, from at least from his agent's point of view, is that this will pay well. It'll get your name out there, and then you could be in the galleries and the more artsy stuff that you're interested in. And
Right.
so that was like so the whole point of the app was that you're supposed to create some meet cute,
Okay.
which she was like, I'm an older woman, this meet cute thing is
Yeah.
ridiculous, but yeah, I don't want to lose my job. So she's trying to
Mhm.
orchestrate this thing so that she could make these videos, and he's following her around, and they end up forming a connection. Does that make sense,
Mhm.
Ange? How
Yes,
did I
yes.
do?
You did a great job. You did a great job. For I was supposed to give this wrap up and could not. So I appreciate it,
You don't
Aisha.
have to say that. Why are you confessing?
I don't know. I just was like, "Oh, dear. Maybe Aisha should do this." But yes, great job, great job. And thank you for explaining the app because I think I'm so used to an app where they're swiping and I was like, "She's not swiping."
No, it
But
just
yeah.
I mean, they were light on
Mhm.
the plot in that area and how they were gonna
Yeah.
get to how this was all gonna come
Mm.
together. So tell me your thoughts. What did you think?
Well, I wanna begin with, her love interest. What's his name
So
again?
attractive.
Wow.
Dan Payne. Right?
Dan. I
Right?
looked Dan up
Right?
on all of the places
Because he's
was I was
really,
like,
really
"Who
attractive.
is this
Yes. No, no,
person?
no, no. No, he's really and he's six foot
He
four.
should be." I know. I was like,
Six
"This man should be
four.
in all the movies."
Okay, so so just so we're clear, Angela
Mhm.
Tucker is six
Oh,
foot
yeah.
one.
I'm
Okay.
6'1".
So so there's a real I'm not bringing his height up for no reason.
Yeah.
I just the
Yeah.
appreciation of a 6'4"
I know.
person.
I know. I
I
was
mean,
like,
no
"Slow
shade to her
clap.
wonderful husband, by the way. Just no
Slow
shade, no
clap.
shade. I'm
Slow
just
clap." Of
saying
course not.
that,
Of course not.
on the screen, on the screen.
He was watching the movie with me. I was, like, gawking at the movie while he was there. He was just like, "Oh, brother." I was like,
No, I
"Wow."
mean, the camera loves him.
Loves him.
Like, that's all I'm gonna say.
Loves him. Our producer wanted to let us know that Dwayne is not short. For he feels that we implied
We did. I just shorter than 6'4". That's all I
he's just
said.
Dwayne is very tall. He's just not
It's
6'4". So
so
I
tall.
feel compelled
So
to
tall.
mention that because I just saw it in
Yes.
the chat. So what was nice about it, right? Other than him being hot, was
So
he is like he has sex appeal, and I think that
right.
sometimes in these movies they pick people that don't have sex appeal, and I was definitely like, he has so much sex appeal that I was like, I don't know how you acting like you don't notice this guy's going
Thank
around
you.
you.
But that's the thing. Like when you see movies where, you know, the love interest has sex appeal, you kind of realize how many movies where that's not the case.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
you're like, this is what's missing. Like, I have
Yeah.
to believe that you are also having a physical reaction with this person.
Yeah.
And yeah, you saw that and you were like, pull it together, girl, because
I
do
know.
not
I was like,
pretend that
"Ooh."
you are okay.
Yeah, I mean, I also really you know, I really liked the clothes in this, which is a really random thing to mention,
Oh,
but
interesting.
I thought the clothes were really nice in this, and I sometimes feel like, like all her coats were really nice.
That's
They
true.
were using all of these really nice shades of like, they got the red and the green memo, but they used it all these nice shades. Everything was really tailored and
Agreed.
looked really nice. So I was, though I maybe have some critiques about other visual aspects of the movie, I would say that every time she put on a new outfit, I was like, "What designer
Yes,
is giving
absolutely.
you these clothes?" Like,
I
I
think she
mean,
went
yeah.
into her own closet and was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"I'm just gonna wear my stuff."
Yeah. I mean, they must have because, like, everything she wore was incredible. I mean, I felt everybody looked good. I felt like he
Mhm.
looked good, but he looks good whenever, but, like, I
Yeah,
was
hard to
really,
mess that up.
like, very blown away by her clothes. Anyway, that's an aside. Um, I, I liked it. I liked her. I found the details around the app and the details around her assignment and everything. It's kind of that thing you do with a lot of these movies where you're just like, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on
Right,
other things.
right.
Um, and I felt like they had nice chemistry. And there was also kind of, it kind of, I think a con about it is this premise that they have is a tricky one when you're kind of using that very short time period before the holidays, because that's kind of an issue that a lot of these movies have, where we all know you're talking about, like, even if it's like December 4th to like Christmas, and for this is like 2 weeks tops,
Right.
and so she had to keep kind of being at these places, and she's supposed to fall in love, and it was a little like, okay. But she met, there was one guy that she met, this, I forget his name, but like this older guy, and there was kind of I felt like there were some surprises in terms of, him not being the nicest guy. So I did feel like there were some surprises. I mean, overall, I'm just gonna admit that this he was very attractive,
No, he carried a lot of it. I
and
agree with
so
you.
I
Just
just, even when I was like, "I don't believe that." I don't know. I just went, "Are we gonna see him again?" So
exactly. When's he coming back?
I don't
Yep.
know. I don't know. So, I mean, yeah, like it was really, I think, in contrast to like the Netflix film we reviewed last episode, Best Christmas Ever. Like, there was so much chemistry in this, and it was a reminder to me how chemistry can carry a movie all the way, even when there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of issues with this movie. I mean, like, one other issue is, I know very well that they shoot these movies very fast, okay? Um, but it was very much, sections of it were very much on a set, and you could really see that, like,
Yeah.
they were just having people in different clothes going into the same room over and over and over again, and at times I was like, I just need another, like, a palate cleanser shot. Like, I'm in the same street corner, I'm on the same,
Yes.
like, over and over and over. And they did this device with her where when she wrote her pieces, she talked into her phone, And it was really like we were in like, I mean, she has a very nice apartment, but that started to get a little like repetitive for me, but I knew he was coming back, so I didn't really mind. So Aisha, what are
Right.
your sort of general thoughts?
Um, no, yeah, his being attractive is really, really helpful. Also,
Yeah.
he's not, I mean, there's some where the person is attractive, but they are so awful at acting
Mhm. Mhm.
that it doesn't help you at all. Like, you're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I could do a still shot and be fine, but you
Mhm.
talking is just killing this movie for me. He's actually
He's
he's a
pretty
good
good.
actor. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? He was
Mhm.
good. He was convincing,
Mhm.
which I appreciated. And, they had a kid randomly
Mhm.
in there. It was
Yeah.
like his nephew.
I know.
It
The
was
kid
like
thing was hilarious. I was like, I know. You just wanna throw in
but
a note with the kid.
again, but you went to see
Sure.
it with the kids, so you were like, "Okay, you couldn't give me a kid that young because then you have more questions." So you're like, "He's
Yeah, yeah.
watching his nephew."
Mhm.
Sure, 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 sure.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
it was adorable.
Mhm. Yeah.
I appreciated also when they have decent sibling relationships,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because that's important to me too. So
Mhm.
I thought that was fun. Like, it
Mhm.
was, you know, it was good. It was good.
Mhm. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was good.
I did a little looking up because I was curious as to like how old Teri Hatcher is because Teri Hatcher's been around so long. You can get a little like skewed
Uh-oh.
in terms of like what's the actual age. And
Right.
I think she's like, I don't have the exact, she's at least like, she's 59, maybe like between 57 and 59, one or the other. Um,
Right.
and he's 51, which I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yeah,"
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
so
get
that
it.
was, get it.
Get it.
Yeah, because I just was like, because Terry Hatcher has been around. I mean, I just saw a rerun of Seinfeld where she's on an episode of Seinfeld where she's like the woman that like that Seinfeld is dating. And so it's yeah, it's definitely, she's been around a long, long time. So
She has.
I mean, I was into it. I think, it's funny saying this though. This is something that comes up a lot in these movies and I feel compelled to kind of mention. Um I think we really need to figure out how to address a woman having a career
Yes.
and
Already,
it
I'm
like,
already saying yes.
yeah, and like it's like it's just this thing that a lot of people complain about with these movies, that I feel it, where it's like the career life balance. I'm open to that idea because everyone struggles with that, and women struggle with it even more because um you know it's like this idea of once a woman falls in love, she's supposed to kind of like manage this busy career and manage the family and do all of the managing.
Right.
But we really need to stop kind of like punishing women for
I
having
I agree.
careers, or it's just like a really weird trope that
I agree with you.
really I felt centered in this movie more than usual, and I wondered if it didn't feel more centered because she was older. I don't know. I was curious, Aisha, what you thought about it.
Well, I completely agree with you. I One of my biggest pet peeves was just the premise that this board could make her date.
Yeah.
She
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
so successful in her own way, and this
Mhm.
idea as if having a love life and being successful what are incompatible.
Mhm.
Um, and that really bothered me that it was like the power wasn't hers to do this. It wasn't
Right.
on
Right.
her own steam. That annoyed me to no end. And
Mhm.
especially when they had the person who was giving her this young guy who came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, no, little
Yeah.
boy, that is just disrespectful on a level that I can't, right? And because the problem
And
is
he's
is
the
that from
only person of color in the movie, which is also kind of
we won't
weird
even go there.
too.
Yes.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
a little bit like, weird, but anyway, go ahead.
It was weird, but the thing is that what bothered me is that because she does end up falling in love at the end, it just gives this idea that they were right to do what they
Mhm.
did.
Right,
And,
exactly.
um, I don't love that as a
Mhm.
premise.
In terms of the the whole her career piece in this movie. Yeah, I mean, so I think we both agreed that it was very challenging for me, and it got me thinking more about how can we address sort of, the career realities and making it a plot point without it feeling like it's, kind of setting women back. Essentially was what I was feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. Um but I still, I liked it, and I enjoyed it, and I felt happy that Roku is sort of getting in this Christmas space too. So
Absolutely. Agreed.
yeah.
And I'm glad that Teri Hatcher is enjoying herself because she gets to make these movies with attractive men. So do you?
Mhm. Yeah,
You
exactly.
go. And then
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to seeing her next one. So Christmas
Mhm.
at the Chalet, here I go.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, no complaints. All right. Well, so wait, rating.
Ay,
Aisha, what's your rating?
ma'am. I probably would give this a 7, 7.5 out of 10.
Mm, yeah.
Just, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, Mr. Payne alone was worth that. Yes.
mhm. I'm gonna give it an 8.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That,
Um,
it's a solid movie.
it's
Solid.
solid, I mean, like, yeah, because there is something sometimes when I watch the ones that are, like, really sort of, like, basic, but I'm just like, I'm in this world. He's handsome, and,
Yes.
and
Sure.
I think what they did well is showing, their attraction grow over the span of the film,
Mhm.
which, like, every time they got together, they liked each other a little more, and he liked each other, and I felt like he wasn't kind of, like, overly, like, "I don't like you." Sometimes it gets a little bit like, "Why are you
Right.
guys so heated?"
Like
It's
3rd
really
grade.
not.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like
Like,
pulling of the ponytail. Yeah, I know, I get it.
yeah, and there was a conversation that they had that I really liked that felt very like adult, which she was kind of down, and he was asking her like what are her strengths and her weaknesses and her aspirations, and I really appreciated that. Like, I was like, this is like
Grown-ups.
grown-ups, and he's like trying
Yes.
to help her succeed, and yeah, I mean, sometimes though I will say shade, but sometimes it's
Uh-oh.
a little
I'm
tricky
ready.
when people are artists in these movies because you are a little bit like, so he takes pictures that are black and white. It's okay.
Hey. Hey.
Okay.
Hey.
Like, everyone was like, they're black and white. I was like, oh God, don't do that, people. Whatever. Yeah, so I would say an 8. Yeah. Mm, all
Okay.
right, cool.
All right. So look for it, everyone.
Mhm.
It's worth it. You can't hate it.
Mm.
You can't. So that's us for now. We are so excited about doing this with you again. It is always fun, and just, we're going to do our best to watch as many of these movies as possible so we can let you know which ones are worth your time and which ones maybe you would want to avoid. But that's our job, and we can do it together. So we'd love to hear your thoughts, and we'll see you soon.
And you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, For the Love of Tinsel. And you can hear us on Spotify and all the places that you listen to your podcasts, and on YouTube now. So look up For the Love of Tinsel and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we'd like to thank our amazing producer, the very tall Dwayne Prefew,
Super tall.
and our production assistant, Nika Troy. So thanks, everyone, and until next time, relax into the holidays and have some fun, and we will talk to you next time. See ya.
Bye. See you.